my name is Carlo Scarpa, and this is my documentary on cannabis in ancient Egypt, China, and India. Today, I'm going to discuss the use of this versatile plant in the ancient world, specifically focusing on its influence and application in ancient China, India, and Egypt. One of the most prominent, if not the most thorough example of cannabis use in the ancient world comes from the East in ancient China. Joseph E. Brand highlights this through research on cannabis and its medicinal applications. This research involved a thorough examination of ancient Chinese material medical texts known as Benkao to uncover the historical uses of various components of the cannabis plant, especially the flowers and leaves, which might have relevance to cannabinoids such as CBD and delta-9 THC. The analysis revealed a wide range of properties and applications attributed to different parts of the cannabis plant over time, with a particular focus on the historical evolution of uses related to conditions like seizures, pain, and mental effects, given their connection to cannabinoids concentrated in the female flowering tops and leaves. This research provides us with extremely valuable insight on the historical context of the utilization of cannabis in traditional Chinese medicine. It is clear the interest and fascination in the ancient Chinese culture had with these properties. This becomes even more clear in their writings. The Shijing, or Classics of Poetry, is an anthology of ancient Chinese poems and songs dating all the way to the Zhou dynasty. In many poems, the word ma is used, which is proposed to be referring to cannabis or hemp by some scholars. This is only a fraction of the evidence that we have about the ancient Chinese being very intertwined with cannabis culture. We have also discovered artifacts further proving cannabis's widespread and diverse use in ancient China. Wooden braziers were found in tombs on the Pamir Plateau, showing us not only cannabis's cultural significance for its burial sites, but also being early evidence of how the plant was actually smoked, which is the main way to create the psychoactive effects cannabis possesses. The cultural significance and general understanding of cannabis is apparent given these artifacts and sources, and it's clear that ancient China had a vast understanding of cannabis and how to use it. Cannabis did not only grow in China, it also had its footing in Egypt, although seemingly not to the extent of China. The introduction of cannabis sativa into ancient Egyptian literature was suggested by Warren Dawson, who associated the Egyptian word shemshemet with cannabis. He argued that since rope was made from shemshemet, it must be cannabis. However, no physical evidence of ancient Egyptian rope made from cannabis hemp has been found, unfortunately. The confusion is compounded by the generic use of the word hemp for rope made from various plant fibers. Dawson also identified 4 prescriptions in the Ebers Papyrus that use shemshemet, but without clear context for pharmacological effects, and there's no evidence of the plant's presence in Egypt prior to the Arab conquest in the 7th century AD, when it was likely Cannabis indica. However, due to the lack of evidence, it is very difficult to come to a clear conclusion on cannabis's use, making it clear that it was not nearly as revered in ancient Egypt. We do have evidence of shemshemet written in some of the most important documents from ancient Egypt, the Ebers Papyrus and the Book of the Dead. The Ebers Papyrus is an ancient Egyptian medical papyrus of herbal knowledge dating to around 1500 BCE. It has mentions of shemshemet being used as a topical application for inflammation, consistent with cannabis use around the world. Unfortunately, the lack of evidence that shemshemet is actually cannabis leaves its prominence as part of ancient Egypt unfinished. Cannabis is a very versatile plant, allowing it to grow in many regions of the world. In context of the ancient world, we've also seen interest in the psychoactive properties of cannabis explored in ancient India. Evidence of early forms of smoking the plant has been found in areas around India and their ancient roots. Like in many other cultures, its medical and religious uses were the most common. In my secondary source, History of Cannabis in India, the author establishes the significance of cannabis use in Indian culture. Specifically, it tackles the broader social and historical context of cannabis use. In India and other cultures, cannabis was used mostly for topical treatments, pain relief, and even religious ceremony. We have evidence of smoking of cannabis via early pipes found in the Kalahandi district. This is interesting for a few reasons. One, it shows that the care the ancient people had for their smoking habits, making it seem like it was more mainstream. What's more fascinating, though, is these pipes predate the introduction of tobacco in the region, meaning it is much more likely that these pipes were strictly made for cannabis consumption. The Arthur Vivida is an ancient artifact that represents an ancient compilation from the Vedic area, encompassing a wide range of spells, prayers, charms, and hymns. In India, the ancient roots of cannabis use are intertwined with medical, religious, and cultural practices, as exemplified by the Arthur Viveda. The versatility of cannabis, from its medicinal properties to its psychoactive effects, transcends time and continues to shape societies. This journey into the past not only sheds light on the historical use of cannabis, but also serves as a foundation for understanding its evolving role in different societies throughout the ages and today. Thank you.